Hey YouTube, what's going on? Micro Drummer here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a product review of my Cinch gaming controller. It's a great controller, guys, and it's just going to be my opinions, what I have on it, all that good stuff today. Maybe later I'll do a Scuff Cinch comparison video, but as of right now, just the Cinch and my opinions on it. Also, I'll leave a link in the description. You can use coupon code MICRO for 5% off your next purchase at cinchgaming.com. And don't forget to comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope you guys enjoy. Peace. Alright guys, so let's dive right into it. This is my Cinch gaming controller. I got plain black, nothing done to the joysticks, nothing done to anything. It is just as standard as it comes in its most basic form, the Cinch gaming controller. So at first, let's dive right into what makes it a unique controller. And that's these babies right here. You can see on the back, it's got these buttons. And that's what makes it different than some of these other controllers like Scuffs that have paddles. And we can start off by listening to this. The buttons click, and for me that is a big deal. I was afraid that they were going to be like the front buttons where there's a little bit of click, but there's not that satisfying click. And not a big deal to most, I would assume, but to me, I was really afraid that these were not going to click. The second thing about these buttons is the placement. At first, this is why I didn't get much on the controller, guys, is because I didn't know if I was going to like it, what was going to be, the deal with the buttons, but the placement at first, since I was coming from a Scuff, mind you, it was a little awkward at first for me. I had to get used to these buttons, the placement of the buttons, and it didn't take long at all, and once I did eventually get used to the button placement, as you can see, they're right here on the actual handle of the controller, I guess you say, as where the paddles for the Scuffs are like right here. And the Scuff felt better at first. It was less awkward. And once I changed my hand placement and I got used to clicking the buttons with my middle fingers, that problem went away, and I felt it was actually a lot more comfortable, and it made my hand posture a lot better. And it may not seem like a big deal to some people, but hand placement is a giant deal if you're trying to play games like Call of Duty. And it made it a lot easier, actually. It felt a lot less awkward in my hand than the Scuff. And there's really one more thing in the terms of the actual performance of the controller that I had to mention, is that the analog sticks on the Cinch gaming controller are very sensitive. You touch them a little bit and they move. And I don't know, on any other controller I've ever used, the standard PS4 controller, the Scuff, any PS3, Xbox controller I've ever used, they've had a lot more resistance than these analog sticks. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that yet. It can make my aim go a little askew at times, but it's not that big a deal. It's just something I had to mention. Now moving on to the aesthetics of the controller, I got, like I said, plain black, no decals or anything like that. Same for my Scuff, because I wasn't sure if I was going to like these controllers at first. But some things I have to note about the aesthetics that just make this controller a little bit unique are this bad boy right here. Let me turn this on just so you can see. Oop, almost dropped it there. You can see that, I'm not sure if you can make out those letters, but it says CG there in this LED light instead of the whole thing lining up blue. And that's just a little tidbit they added in there to make it more unique and separate it from other controllers. And one thing that's not so positive about this, guys, is that it doesn't come standard with grips. As you can see, it's smooth, and I guess that would be a problem because of the buttons. And that's why Cinch has their own grip called Cinch Grip, and it essentially just makes this entire back of the controller a grip, and it has a lot more traction because of the design of it. But anyways, I'm going to have to purchase some squid grip, so that's a downside, as where with other controllers like the Scuff, the grip comes standard on the controller. Also, guys, the controller, since it comes standard with the rumbles out of the controller, it's very lightweight, which is another thing that I wasn't too sure I was going to like, because I do like a little beef to my controller. I like to feel that it's in my hands. But once I got used to it, it didn't even bother me at all, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Now for the overall review of the controller, guys. It's a great controller. I highly recommend it. There's just one little disclaimer I have to add. It took a very long time to get to my house, and I didn't pay for rush shipping, which was a big mistake. The rush shipping is about $40, and at the time I was like, wow, that is a lot for shipping. So I did not spring for that, but I wish I would have, because it took about a month to get to my house, and for me that is just unacceptable. That is too long. I absolutely hate waiting for things. I'm like a kid on Christmas when I order things. So I would really recommend springing for that extra $40 if you have it, in order to get the Cinch gaming controller that much quicker. And it'll come in about a week, I believe, if you get the rush shipping, maybe even quicker than that. Like I said, this controller is great. I've had very few problems with it. I believe at this point I was already having problems with my scuff. The analog stick, the left analog stick, was already starting to give out on me. With this controller though, I have had no problems so far. It is absolutely flawless. There's been no problems, like I said, and it is actually my favorite controller to date. I prefer it to the scuff, and I'm not saying that just because I'm saying that out of the genuineness of my heart. It is a great controller, and it come highly recommended. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review of the Cinch gaming controller for the PlayStation. It is a great controller, and I hope you all enjoyed. If you did enjoy, I would appreciate if you hit that subscription button, you like, comment, and all that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video.